What's up guys, James here, the world's worst web developer, and today I'm back with another, you guessed it, Etch video. Today we're going to be looking at how to create some filtering in Etch, and this does require a plugin. The plugin that I'm using is a paid plugin, unfortunately. There may be free plugins out there that do something similar, but given how incredibly easy this is, I think it's worth the money, to be honest. I just bought a single site license for this just to test this out, and depending on whether or not this is going to be a native feature in Etch someday, I may end up buying the unlimited site license because this was super slick and super easy. So I'm going to show you how to create like a search field, a category drop down that lets you filter a grid of posts. So let's go ahead and jump in. So I have a website here that I've been working on. I'm actually rebuilding a real website. So this, what you're looking at is going to be a real website. This was kind of the last thing I needed to get figured out, I think. I've spent 4 live streams basically rebuilding this website. So this obviously was easy. It took like a minute. This took a little bit more time, and then this took quite a bit of time building out the single post page. And there's still a few things I want to do. Like, I'm not crazy about some of this. I mean, this looks weird when there's only one tag. It's just kind of a bunch of empty space or whatever. But we're basically done. And now what I need to figure out is, I'll actually show you the live site so you can see what we're trying to recreate here. Right here, sorry, I lost track. Lost my thought there for a second. So this search field and then some filtering over here, this is what we need to recreate. And right now there's no there's no way to do this natively in Etch. I was able to create this grid, of course, and it's a loop. So if you're not familiar with Etch, Etch does have a really handy loop feature right here. So it's looping through a post type, a custom post type called plugin repo. And then basically all I had to do is design one card the way I like it. And then I had to assign data. You know, I had to say this header is the plugin title, right? This is the this is going to be the excerpt. I need to do that. I haven't done that quite yet. This is the plugin author, right? So I did all that, and then the loop handled the rest. So that's all working, but I want to be able to filter these posts, these reviews, or I'm sorry, these plugins. So for instance, you know, if I come here and I type SEO, it shows me plugins that talk about SEO. You know, if I type roadmap, there's my roadmap WP, right? YouTube, there's a YouTube plugin. So this is working on the main live site, and I want to make it also work in mine. This is currently a just a custom block that I created that handles this whole thing, the grid, the filtering, and all that. And so on my new site, I won't be doing that. I'll just be using the native loop function of Etch, and I'll be using the filtering system that I'm about to show you. So the plugin that I mentioned that I'm using is called WP Grid Builder. We'll take a look at that. It's right down here. So it's by that person. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that. It's a pretty popular plugin, and it works really well, like you're about to see. So the first thing we need to do is, if we go over here to WP Grid Builder, you'll notice we have some options here. I don't need to create a grid or a card. I already did all that. I'm not even sure what this does. All I need to do is create a facet. So a facet is just a fancy way of saying like a filter. And so we'll start with the search, and I'm just going to call this plugin search. You can call it whatever you want. For filter type, I'm going to scroll down and pick search field. And then that's basically it for here, I think. Yeah. We'll come up here and click save. I'm going to copy this shortcode. And then there's just a couple things we need to do to kind of get this all to link up. So First of all, we can't add shortcodes in Etch quite yet. We have to do that with a regular Gutenberg builder, which is not a problem. We can edit the page. And I'm just going to go over here and add a shortcode, and I'm going to paste in my shortcode. And then we need to make this something unique. So let's just call it WP Grid Builder search. No, this has to be something a little more general. So because we're going to use this for all of our facets, not just our search bar. So let's just try WPGB-content, and we'll save that. And now we're going to go to the Etch editor, and we just need to do two things in here, very simple. First of all, we need to find our loop and the wrapper outside of our loop. This is the wrapper for our whole grid. We just need to add a class, the same thing we just typed in that shortcode, WPGB-content. And then we need to come over to our loop, and in our query, we're going to say WP Grid Builder. I think I'm doing this right. WPGB-content. Same thing we added in our facet. Same thing we just added to the class. We'll save that. We'll go take a look. So we have a search bar, and we'll see if it's working. SEO. Yep, it's working. Roadmap. It's working. Perfect. So now we just want to get a drop down in there to browse by category. So basically the same thing. It's a little different just because we're doing a select drop down field instead of a search bar. So we'll go back to all facets, add new. I'm going to call this plugin categories. And for filter type, I'm going to choose drop down. And then we're still going to be content. We're just going to be filtering posts. And we're going to filter it by categories, but not regular categories. This is the default taxonomy for regular posts. We are filtering by our custom taxonomy that I created for this custom post type called plugin categories. And that's it. We can go ahead and leave that. We'll copy the shortcode. It's basically the same thing. It's just going to say a different ID number in there. So we'll go back to our main page and we'll edit it in the block editor again. I'm going to throw in some columns. Just going to drag this in here. We'll choose this, and I'll drag our shortcode up there. And then over here, I'll add another shortcode. And put this in there. So you can see the other one was ID 3, this one is ID 4, and then we just need to grab this same thing right here and put it in right here. And that should be all we have to do because we already did this stuff in Etch. So let's view this page and see if this is working. So let's choose category of productivity. There should be 2 items in there. Yep, there we go. SEO, boom. Easy, right? Easy peasy. And you know, so you have full control. I got to design my cards exactly how I wanted in Etch before I ever even installed this WP Grid plugin, right? And then just a couple minutes of setting up the Grid plugin, and I'm able to filter my own cards that I created. So I didn't even have to create everything in WP Grid. I created my own grid, and all I did was create a facet. So I think it's pretty amazing. It's definitely worth. I want to say, let me just check it out because I don't want to. I just bought this 20 minutes ago. You think I'd remember how much I paid? Yeah, that's what I thought. 49 bucks a year. Definitely worth it for how easy that was. No custom coding or anything, and I got beautifully working filters. Yeah, if this is not something that is able to be done natively in Etch someday, I'm just going to come back here and buy the full unlimited size license because I imagine I'm going to be using this a lot. So that's it. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you liked that video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.